Yeah. So one of the biggest thing we have in common is we all work with our spouses.
Yeah.
We all work with
Same here.
Yeah. We all work with our spouses. And it was, it was kind of like, how do I say it? It was we weren't expecting for everybody to be as collaborative with us because we all have the same
goals, same
goals, same beliefs, same, common sense, which is, there's a big shortage of that nowadays.
I totally agree. Let's kick it off. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay.
All right. We are ready. Another episode of Key Factors Podcast Real Estate AF in 3, 2, 1.
And welcome back to another episode of Key Factors Podcast Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for And Finance, and I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are powered by LoanBot, Smarter Mortgage Matching, now available on the App Store and Google Play. And today, guys, I wanted to have a discussion with some folks that I recently met and want to know more about. I think there's plenty that you guys out there can learn from, especially their journey. But without further ado, matter of fact, before we do that, JC, if you can throw the screen up, I have to look at that guy right there. Hello.
That was
so without further ado, you can kill it. That's awesome.
that was the first.
Let me introduce Cesar Amezcua and his wife, Erin. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
So as we kick off this discussion, if you could tell us a little bit about yourselves, and we'll have you start, and then Erin, if you could, tell me about you.
Well, a lot of people don't know. I had dinner with some mastermind folks this past Thursday. Was it Thursday anyways. And I sat next to Levi Rogers the whole dinner. Dude's hilarious. I mean, my jaw still hurts.
He really is. Yep.
And he didn't know that I was actually born and raised in Mexico.
Mm.
He didn't know I was born and raised in Mexico. He's like, man, I've known you for 12 years and I have no idea. So I was born and raised in Mexico, right across the border from Eagle Pass. And, no, I wasn't born into riches and one of those, that comes over.
He said right across Mexico, not Mexico City.
No. I was a border kid and just grew up, very, very poor. My wife is here to attest to that. And 16 years old is when I decided to just leave. I have no idea how my parents did it. No clue.
Did your parents stay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, everybody's still over there. My brother lives in West Texas. We both went to Angelo State. So she went to Angelo State as well. That's where we met.
Okay.
And 16 is when I went to St. Anthony. I graduated, let's say, 5th in my class out of 50. So that put me in the 10%.
Okay. Yeah.
It gave me a scholarship to go. And
Nerd.
That's how thank you. And that's how I ended up in West Texas. That's how I ended up. I was out of 6,500 something students in the whole university. I was the only student from Mexico.
So did you get a scholarship?
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah. Academic.
Very good.
And football was all taken. So
yeah, for us little guys. I thought I was going to be a football star. I actually got one semester of paid football college at McMurray in Abilene.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, this is a different game.
I have a friend that played, he was a kicker for McMurray for a little while.
Okay. Yeah. We call it the dirty.
Yeah.
And then it got super clean. They redid everything completely. And then they started winning as soon as I left.
There you go.
Always happens. So Erin, how about you? Where you come from?
So my family's originally from Nebraska.
Okay.
But my dad was in the Air Force. So I
All
traveled.
over the place.
Yeah. We moved every 3 years until I got to middle school. We moved to San Angelo.
Okay.
So I went to middle school there, went to high school there. My dad actually was going to be transferred. And I was like, I can't move.
Not again.
It's my senior year. I can't move. I was on, played sports and a whole bunch of things. So he left for a year so we could stay. Graduated from there, went to Angelo State.
Right down the street.
And we met each other
Stumbled
there.
upon this guy.
Yes.
That were huge.
At the end.
It wasn't until the end?
It was towards the very end.
So did you guys know each other Angelo, it's not a big place. Not really.
No.
Yes.
No, yes, at the same time. Okay.
Yes and
do
no.
tell.
So her brother and I are fraternity brothers. And
Okay.
before I say that, I just want to say that I have a huge amount of respect for what Rick, her dad, for what Rick did. He took off for a year to like loneliness in South Korea.
Oh, wow.
So she could graduate high school. And
Wow.
I've always, like I don't think I could have done that to kind of delay his deployment, or I don't know what they call it, but
Right.
he took off, for a year and lived in South Korea by himself so she could graduate. So, I've always been very, very
Now, mind
impressed.
you, South Korea it's a beautiful place.
I know.
In places, it's kind of like very inexpensive. Very.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, did he come back
He
with a
came
mail
home
order
with-
bride or something?
No, he came home with a lot of cool stuff for us.
Okay. Yeah.
Some fake Jordans, some
Right.
Fordens.
Couldn't tell. Yeah, you couldn't tell until you like spelled
Yeah,
it
that
out.
was before the time of FaceTime, and my parents would email each
Yeah.
other.
Wow.
That was it.
So she stayed. He
She
went.
stayed. Yeah.
Holy cow! Yeah, for a whole year, I don't know if I could do that either.
Yeah,
There's
so
a
that
lot of
was-
people, oil fields, stuff like that I see their profession, and I go, man, hats off to you.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
not
know if I
enough
could
money
do
for
that.
me.
But so yes and no. I'm fraternity brothers with her brother Jason, and Jason and I mean, we weren't like the best friends. We just frat brothers. That was it. We partied together, and part of the, I was a freshman, he was a sophomore. Part of the, obviously, you go through the whole hazing process,
Of course,
which was a lot of fun. So anybody out there complaining about hazing, just chill.
they didn't do it right.
They didn't do it right. And he says, hey, we had to get these interviews. So he says, hey, go to this street and there's going to be a sign that says Erin. And I'm thinking Aaron.
Aaron.
So, pledge brother of mine, Nick, and I were just driving up and down the street and we're like, I can't find Erin. Like, who's Erin, by the way?
Oh, and these are like massive signs, like sports signs.
Big
Like
signs.
huge.
Yeah, it was volleyball.
Yeah.
And then we finally see, we're like, oh, duh, it's Erin. That's Jason's house. And I knew Jason. I knew his mom. I knew his dad. Right when he came back,
Right.
I met Rick. And I actually crossed paths with Erin twice. Once was, okay, it was a party we were having, and it was her 18th birthday.
Oh goodness.
And so I'm there, and I'm doing my own thing
Of course.
at that point. And she walks in, with this air of like,
Everything stops.
how dare you all mere mortals look at me?
That's awesome.
Okay, and I'm
It's-
really thinking like, oh my gosh, this is like the little sister of somebody walking in. Like I was so embarrassed to come ask for something.
sure.
So I was just like, don't look at me. I'll just be in and out.
Meanwhile, you were cooler than the other side of the
Well,
pillow.
I was trying to act like it, right?
yeah.
So she's walking around like this. And I was like, what's Jason's sister doing here? I was just picking up a bottle of Parrot Bay.
This is West Texas shenanigans,
Of course. Of course.
So that was one. And then the other one, for the first 3 years of my college career, I had a girlfriend. you know? And for those 3 years, I really didn't party much, didn't get out much. I worked a lot, went to school. And during parties, I didn't really want to hang out at the parties,
Yeah.
And my girlfriend at the time did not want to go to the parties. And so I would end up working parking lot duty or, the entrance or something. for
That's
the
how it works
parties.
with fraternities.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I was the guy that got the kegs and collect money at the door.
And there you go. So one morning, this was late, it was like 2:00, and I see this Jeep Cherokee that's broken down, and it's Erin and her friend Jill. And it's Jill's Cherokee, and it's broken down, and I see all these guys surrounding it. And I said, that's Jason's sister. Let me go see if I can help. I go and I start looking around. I have no idea what's going on. And I tell them, like, hey, if y'all need a ride, I can just give you a ride back to your place, and then Jason can bring you back. Then Jason shows up with, a companion, and he looks at her and says, hey, see this guy right here? Trust him with my life. I'm like, wow, really? That's awesome. And he basically pawned her off to me.
Yeah.
And she just went like, hell no, I'm not going with some random guy.
Right,
So
right.
I have no idea what happened to her that night. I just like, whatever.
We called somebody we knew.
Yeah, I was like, whatever.
Makes perfect sense.
Said, whatever, lady. I'm not,
I was like, thanks, no thanks.
Yeah, I was like, whatever, lady. Psh. And I would see her at church. We went to the same, we're both Catholic. We went to the same mass. I called it the hungover mass because it was on Sunday at 10 a.m. Yep. So everybody there we all reeked of whatever.
Sin.
Yes, a lot of that. And we're just like, oh my gosh, but we got to get through it. And I would see her away. I was like, oh, that's Jason's sister. She's she's the one with the pretty eyes. And that's
the untouchable.
I had a girlfriend. So
of course, it wasn't anything crossed your mind.
No,
yet.
but it was Jason's sister. The one with the pretty eyes. That was it. So I knew her. She obviously had no idea.
So what made the flip switch? Which flip?
There was one night we went out to a bar. This was years later. I had 2 or 3 friends with me, and one of the friends I was with knew the group of guys that he was with, and she was like, oh, let's go over there, let me introduce you. So we walk over and I'm just talking, and I introduce myself to him, really, that, hey, I'm so and so, where are you from? I ask him that question, and he looks at me and goes, you don't know? And I look at him like, are you kidding me? Like, why would I know where you're from? Wow. I just met you.
Wow.
And he gets like
butthurt.
Yeah.
I'm
and
sure.
I'm sitting here going, who are you? So that's how that conversation started. And then we talk about each other. And as I met him, I remembered, I was like, you're that guy that drives that Tahoe that you tried to get us to ride home from that party a couple of years ago. And
oh, so like, you did remember.
I did
eventually.
Remember. And he was like,
she
yeah,
remembered
that's me.
The whole time, by the way. The whole time.
So I was like,
she was
okay.
Playing cool still?
Oh, yeah.
So
that night. I was very insulted that evening, by the way.
I'm sure.
Very insulted.
I was ego, tail between the legs.
I was Mr. ASU. Okay. And everybody on campus knew me. Everybody. I drove my own golf cart, for crying out loud. Van Wilder stuff.
Yeah. Wow. I believe that.
And she could tell you, it's true. I drove my own golf cart to class. I worked everywhere. I ran the arena. I ran the event center, concerts, everything. You name it. It was me. I operated the Jumbotron, the sound system.
Wow.
The president, I was on a first name basis with the president, vice president, all the deans, everybody, just because I was an international student.
I was going to say it had probably to do with the international factor, and you were going above and beyond in every aspect thus far that I could tell.
It was as an international student, you're not allowed to work off campus.
Okay.
So I was always like tied to being in the school. So if I wanted to work, I had to be on campus. So I was always on campus and a part of, student government, part of, the fraternity, part of, the student alumni association, everything I could get involved with. I just wanted as much.
Right. America as possible.
Yeah, it was awesome.
My experience was opposite.
Really?
I lived off campus. I worked off campus. I would go to school and leave.
Well,
I'd go to class and leave.
That in the same time, you're from that town technically for the last several years, and you wanted to stay here instead of going over to South Korea.
So it was a totally different college experience for both of us.
Wow.
Townies.
Yeah.
You can't fix them.
But hey, those backwood parties, there's nothing like it, man.
She went to those. I didn't.
I did, yes. Back at Abilene, that was the only thing to do. Matter of fact, the 3 colleges right there, Abilene, McMurray, we had,
ACU?
ACU right down the street. Christian, yeah. And then there was one other one, not Hardin Simmons, something else. But we would all come together every weekend. It was like...
We threw proper parties, sir.
Yeah.
We actually got venues and, had like a proper DJ and lights and, it was
proper. Coming from Mexico.
Yeah, we threw proper parties.
Where's the charanga, huh?
Yeah. So, but that's how we met. That's
awesome.
She was the first one to say no.
Okay.
I'm like, challenge accepted.
Amen. Kind of similar situation with me and my wife. Yeah. But I won't even go into detail on that. So now that you guys met, at what point did you guys move to San Antonio?
Oh my.
Because you started your real estate career in San Antonio, correct?
No.
Okay, let's start there.
So
where did that transition?
He graduated college a year before me.
Okay.
I don't know if I should get into that story.
Let's tell us how old of a fart he is.
Though you got to tell the ultimatum.
So I was still there. He graduated. He was still working on campus because he had one more year on his
visa.
student visa?
It was called optional practical training.
Okay.
It's OPT, and as long as you were working in a field
That you study. Yeah.
that you study, you could work. So because my job was customer service,
Right.
I graduated with a business administration, marketing, communications degree. So it made sense to stay there to figure out what I was going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Could you imagine if it was servicing customers?
We were good. We were good. I learned.
Okay, cool. We got sense of humor.
No.
Testing the waters.
Not over there.
No.
But yeah, it was. That's how I was allowed to stay and continue to work while figuring out what to do.
Okay.
So I was still in school. It got to a point where I was going to graduate instead of May, it was December, right? So I had one semester left. This was the summer before my last semester, and his license or what permit was about to expire, so he had to make some choices.
Okay.
I either move. He had a cousin that was in Plano. She was doing bilingual teaching, and
Okay.
they would give work visa
Okay.
because they were in need of bilingual teachers. That was an option, or stay and get his master's. And he was like, I don't want to get my master's, so this is going to be my option for me. And he went and visited. He got a job offer, came back and basically was like, you going to come with me or we're going to end this relationship because I can't do this long distance
And
stuff.
that was probably somewhat new of a relationship at that point in time, all right?
Maybe
a year?
7-8 months.
Okay,
It was
so yeah,
fairly
not
new.
even.
Yeah. It was
Maybe
not even
6.
a year.
Maybe 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, because we always say Halloween.
Halloween.
It was our like official first date.
Easy to remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about it for a little while and I was like, okay, I'm in. Because at this point, I'd already been in San Angelo for a long time.
Yeah.
I was ready. Like, you can only go to so many parties and they're all exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
I was ready to leave.
It's like
I still had,
2-3
like-
roads. I still remember going through there to get to
Yeah.
Abilene. Yeah.
So I had, I think, 9 hours left to graduate.
Yeah.
It just so happened that all my 9 hours were like entry level, like economics, like speech, biology.
Okay.
I was a chemistry major, so with
You
a
were
biology
way ahead of
minor.
that stuff.
So I already had like everything done. So I figured out a way where I was like, I'm going to go to this junior college and this junior college and this junior college, get my 9 hours, transfer them back. I'll still graduate. Called my dad to tell him our
You're
plan.
crazy.
Was not happy.
That did not go well.
Like not happy. They lived in Nebraska at the time, so it wasn't even a face-to-face.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just a phone conversation.
Wow.
But I was like, I got this. I can do it. I mean, looking back, like I don't really know how. I probably wouldn't have trusted a
Right.
21-year-old, 22-year-old at the time.
I'm surprised
too.
you didn't ask if he was a Mexican or a Mexican.
And they'd only met him once.
That's
Right?
money. That is money.
They'd only met him once.
Yeah. They only met me once.
So I did it. We left.
We packed our stuff. I had my job in Garland, Texas. I worked for Garland ISD for 6 years as a bilingual teacher, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, and they sponsored with the H-1B
Yeah.
visa. And I had a promise, not a promise, but they said, hey, you stick around, we'll help you get a master's degree. We'll help you get your permanent residency. And, that was my plan
Right.
to continue, the chasing the dream. Right.
Yeah.
And so I had all that lined up when I met with HR, when I met with my future principal. They said, yeah, you stick around. We'll make sure you have your work permit ready. And they had it ready. By the time I got there, they had all that lined up. I think it was a 5-year work plan. And then you could apply for, they would
Citizenship.
sponsor, no, not citizenship.
Okay.
No, it was for your permanent residency.
Gotcha.
And that permanent residency runs about 2 years, and then you renew it, and then it goes to 10 years.
Okay.
But that was my plan.
Yeah.
That was my plan. And I just went to her and I said, hey, we either coming or going. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't do long distance. And it's 4 hours.
Right.
It was just, it wasn't going to work out. But she didn't even hesitate. She's like, okay.
That's awesome.
Just packed up her shit and
That's so
packed
awesome.
up my shit, and we left. after a barbecue that my roommates threw for us.
Yeah.
And we had a little U-Haul that was pulling with my Tahoe with Mexican license plates.
Really?
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
The little 2-door Tahoes.
Dude,
My
those-
favorite. I
Those,
can't
those,
believe
those
you said
Blazers.
that. You know how many of those I've owned? 8.
Really?
8.
Yeah.
There was a point in time. Sorry. Side note, guys.
Those are so nice.
There was a point in time in my life where, so I grew up when I turned 16, my mom gave me her Tahoe, but it was a 4-door Tahoe.
Uh-huh.
I went and threw big tires on it, sound system, the whole 9 yards, and loved the 2-door, but never could get one because at that point in time, they were still too expensive and hard to find, etc. They stopped making them after 98.
Yeah.
So once I got to being an adult, making some real money, I'm like, yep, I want that one. I want that one.
So did I
And then
remember
I started
him?
buying them to flip them. It's like, if I can get it for 4, I know they're worth 8 to 10 at this point.
Yeah.
See,
it was
when
all
I
over.
told him, like, you're that guy with that car, did I remember him or did I remember his car?
A lot of girls remembered my car.
Because it was a
It's
cool
different.
car.
A lot of girls.
I still see them on the road and go, man, I wonder how much he would take for that.
Yeah. No, I'm always
serious.
shopping for them because you never know. I still want to rehab.
That's going to be
one.
a collector.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, all the girls, like when I was single,
Mm-hmm.
all the girls, oh, you're that guy with the Tahoe, with the Mexican license plates.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
That's me.
that's me.
He started off cool.
How you doing?
I mean,
How you doing?
if you rolled up onto campus with the 2-door Tahoe
And Mexican
and
license
Mexican license
It was
plate.
loud.
and Greek letters. in
Now,
the
did he
back.
speak perfect English at that time?
Yes. Well, that's why when he asked me, you don't know. And I'm like, well, what do you mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah, no. He
I've-
had like probably West Texas, like twang.
Twang.
If you get me out there,
Yeah. It comes back.
Yes, it comes back in a matter
Yeah.
of seconds.
Yep.
I mean, quick.
And it's not getting lazy when you get back there. It's getting back to home base.
It
type
is.
Concept.
It is home.
Yeah.
It is for me. St. Anthony's home, Angelo State. You just get there and it just feels like home. Every time I go to St. Anthony, it feels like home. Every time I go to ASU, it feels like home. It's just such a great feeling
That's
to have
awesome.
that.
That's awesome. And we got a lot of similarities, minus the fact that I'm a brother, but
I did not know that until you mentioned it last time. I said, "Oh, did not see that one coming. Did not see that one coming." That was a bit of a surprise.
pero puedo hablar español si quieres.
There you go. See,
Mm-hmm.
You're taking me back to college, but I didn't have one of those cool things. I had a big old tricked out Blazer.
oh,
The GMC
The
one.
GMC,
Nice.
they came out with the Tahoe right
Yeah.
after that,
Yeah.
almost
Nice.
simultaneously.
dig it.
Yeah,
I had
dig it.
about as good of a time in college as you, I think.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So we leave for Garland, Texas,
Okay,
and we
you're doing the teacher thing.
doing the teacher thing.
Mm-hmm.
She suffered for a solid year working at a daycare center while she's trying to
Well, I'm
finish
going to three
different
junior colleges to take these
To
classes.
wrap it up, yeah.
Yeah. And we got all that done. We needed one last favor from ASU. Luckily I knew the dean to make sure that all her classes came in and made sure that she graduated on time, and she did. Just like I promised her parents, she's going to graduate on time, and she did. She graduated on time. And we were living the life in Dallas. We were both teachers. We moved to Rowlett.
Okay.
It was our first house. We bought our first house. I met our first realtor, who eventually became my mentor. And yeah, we were living the life. We paid $151,000 for a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,800 square foot home, brick all around on a golf course.
Wow,
And I looked it up the other day.
wow,
It's like 375, 400.
And it looks exactly the same.
exactly. Yeah, I bet.
Same mirror that I put in and everything. Zero up.
nuts.
Same flooring that we put in.
Wow.
We should never have sold that thing.
I say the same thing with all of our rental properties. We bought our first one for $132, sold them all in 2019 because we were going to go flip properties. I mean, it was the right time. We did good, but at the same time, it's like, dang,
Yeah.
if I had just held on to all of those.
That's the one that got away.
yeah.
We have 2 houses that got away. That one and the Go Lightly house that we had a chance of buying like 1 acre in Helotes for like 1 acre in Helotes right off of 1604 for like $369.
Ooh,
I know.
ooh. Whereabouts in Helotes? Like all the-
At Fossil
Okay,
Fossil
Fossil. Yep, I know exactly what that's.
Yeah.
I grew up in Helotes, so to speak.
Yeah, in Fossil Creek, we had 1 acre, and I thought it was sitting, and they needed to sell, and we talked about it, and I almost approached them, and then an offer came in. We're like, oh, okay, problem solved.
No big deal.
And now I look back, I'm like, darn it, it was 1 acre looking up on the mountain.
Ooh.
It hurts. It hurts.
Oh, but we live on.
Yeah.
So now you're in Garland. You bought your first house. You came in contact with this realtor that, and you mentioned, became your mentor. Where did the merge or the shift in, okay, I'm done teaching, I'm going to jump into real estate? And that started in Garland?
That started in Garland.
Okay.
We covered 14 cities up there.
Okay.
We both got our real estate license
Same
one
time.
summer together.
Wow.
We took the classes together, got our license.
580-573, 580-574.
How cool is that?
We tested the same day, and we just, being a teacher during the summer is really expensive.
Yeah.
Because you have some income coming in, but you have all this time.
Right.
And you're out at the mall, you're out eating out, spending.
Yep.
So I needed a side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And we both got licensed. And then I started doing real estate part-time.
Okay.
With Mary Pat, my mentor. I was with Keller Williams for 1 year.
And this was what, 15 years ago?
2008.
2008.
Okay.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. There you go.
Perfect timing to start a real estate career. So we were doing open houses. We were doing what we were talking about last time. You're just putting in the work.
Right. That's right.
4 open houses a weekend, going to trade shows, going to anything that had people, getting in front of people as much as possible.
Yeah.
And we just kept on working it. And then eventually she said, you know what? I'm going to get my master's. You keep on doing the real estate thing, but I'm going to get my master's, because she wanted to go into administration.
Okay.
School administration. How many years did you clock in?
11.
As business administration for the school?
No, I was teaching.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got my master's when we were in Garland. And then I started looking around at, okay, I'm ready to move up.
Mhm.
There's a lot of politics into
There's a
in
politics
school
and
stuff.
plenty,
Didn't
yes.
know it. Very naive at the time. I was probably 28. Wasn't bilingual. They needed that,
Yeah.
So I was like,
So you had a real Mexican that didn't teach you some Spanish?
Ella habla español.
See?
What?
Ahorita
not
sí.
then though.
Okay.
Back then, no.
Okay.
Ahora
He
sí
never
habla.
spoke Spanish, never around me. So no, I never picked it up. And his family was far away, so we weren't around them very much.
Right.
But then I was now it's like 2010. I was like, let's move. Like
If we had stayed up there,
Mm-hmm.
we were having a lot of fun.
Sure.
A lot. I mean, we're 28, 29,
Mm.
making good money, because back then, a $53,000, $54,000 salary times 2.
Yeah.
Plus I was selling $30,000 worth of real estate
Mhm.
per year on the side. So it was Thursday happy hour,
Yeah.
Friday Knox Henderson, Saturday Uptown, Sunday the lake,
Yeah.
back to work on Monday, and
Repeat.
working out every day, sometimes twice. It's just us and our 2 puppies.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, if we stay here, we're never having kids. My family is 10 hours away pretty much.
Yeah.
Your family lives in San Antonio. If we stay here, we're never doing it. So I told her, I said, let's just up and go.
It was more, I was like, okay, I'll start looking for a job. If I get a job, we're
There
out
you
of
go.
here.
Yeah.
So
And at that time, your real estate business hadn't taken over your life just yet.
No.
It was to the point where you're still doing it part-time. I've learned plenty. I can do this anywhere. Just gotta.
Yeah, I had a great broker. Big shout out to Bill and Mary Jordan over at William Davis Realty. They're fantastic. Once I left Keller Williams, I figured, Keller Williams wasn't for me.
Right.
I went to William Davis, and they ran a fantastic shop. They still do, and they took good care of me. I was able to keep a little bit more of my commission. They were very similar to kind of what Jeff does.
Sure.
And yeah, they took care of me. I was able to save some money, and finally just looked at her and said, hey, if we don't move now, we're not going to have kids. Like, clock's ticking.
Yeah.
Clock's ticking. and we never see your parents. We never see my parents. Let's just get closer to home.
So it sounds like you guys grew up pretty quickly in that decision-making process there.
Oh yeah, we punched first and asked questions later.
Yeah.
It hasn't always worked out, but
that's how we learn.
Yeah.
That's how we learn.
The sooner you make the mistake, the sooner you can correct it.
Amen. Yeah.
And 2010, invited a bunch of friends over for a barbecue. They helped us pack the U-Haul. We packed in what?
It was like 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, a whole house in 30 minutes.
Wow.
We had a barbecue in an empty house, and then we drove out the next morning.
And did you know where you were going to stay?
We stayed. Well, that summer we had strategically packed, and when we came down to visit, we would bring stuff. So we had like a storage unit. So we didn't have too much stuff. It was just the big stuff in the U-Haul. But everything in storage, stayed with my parents. I started working in August.
Okay.
My new school. And he was like, okay, I'm full-time real estate. So he knew just a handful of people from high school here.
Sure.
That was it.
That was the sphere.
That was it.
Yeah. Wow.
So every
3
day
people.
I would go out, go to work, and he would just
Try to figure it out.
hustle, get out there and figure out what to do.
Wow.
We were also looking for our house.
Took about 3 months for us to find our home.
Yeah.
We lived with her parents, and I mean, it was easy because she would go off to work and take care of the dogs and just try to figure out kind of what's going on.
Right.
With my broker still from Dallas, I still have my mom has a bunch of those. My first business card, and it has a PO box from Helotes.
Oh wow. Wow.
I operated out of a PO box in Helotes, and once we landed here, we got situated with the house and all that, and once started working, I think other than the purchase of our home, I sold 2 houses in 2010 and then just hit the ground running 2011.
Wow.
2011. My goal was to replace my teacher salary. I almost doubled it.
Yeah.
And my broker from Dallas was like, hey, how are you doing this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I said, what do you mean? It's like, you sold 22 houses, dude.
Well, see, first off, there's way more people in San Antonio than there is in Garland.
Yeah.
But everybody likes me here.
Yeah, I tell people it was a lot of open houses. It was a lot of, going to the bank branches.
Yeah.
The Wells Fargos, the Bank of Americas, the Chases.
And you're right. Back then there wasn't as many mortgage companies because they had all closed down for the most part.
Exactly. It was, back then it was
World Savings that then turned into this, turned into that, and then they all dissipated, and then they all started popping back up as
I just remember
Starkey broker. Yeah, Starkey.
I remember Starkey Mortgage.
I remember that too. And I got in the business in 2012. So it was, I guess, a year after you started hitting the ground running, and same concept. I didn't know anybody in the real estate game, but I knew a lot of people. And I'd been in San Antonio the whole time. And it was, how do I reach a ton of people? Well, let me try this social media thing. Mm-hmm. Back then, before anybody was doing it, and I repeated over, but the closing picture, I was one of the first to do that, in my opinion, anywhere back in 2012. Mm-hmm. Nobody was using social media for that purpose. And I would put a post out and maybe one like. But then what was happening is I was having so many closings that it was like, oh, there's another one.
Guy's doing
There's
great.
another one. There's another one. And I was the one giving the deals to the realtors. Austin Pantuso was my first. I jumped in the business. I had known him since we were younger. And I said, hey, give me a turn down. Give me something. Like, I need to figure it out. And he said, you know what? I've got a turn down. You figure it out. You're my guy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. In everybody's office. Okay, now what do I do? Now what do I do?
Yeah, it was trial by error.
Yeah.
Back then, you just went and tried it. If it worked, great. If it didn't work, okay. And I ended up at ERA, Colonial.
I think that's where that picture is from.
Yeah, that picture is from ERA.
Okay.
That was my first photo shoot here in San Antonio. My first official photo shoot.
Yeah.
No idea I looked that young. But then again, that was 15 years ago. So,
True.
14 years ago. And I got recruited by Tom and Molly over at ERA. And I was there for a year. I met my second mentor, my true second mentor. Big shout out to Chad Hughes. And he would like, it was weird because I don't know, he kind of like took to me in a way.
Sure.
He'll deny it to this day, but I would walk by. He's like, hey, come here. Because he had an office. I didn't.
Okay.
I was out in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Hey, come here. What kind of car do you drive?
He was sizing you up the whole time.
Like this is like, you shouldn't drive that. Okay. I've seen how many closings you've had. Time to buy something else. You need to buy this. And to this day, I drive a 4Runner because Chad Hughes told me to buy a 4Runner.
There you go.
He's like, hey.
Pretty sure it's the same one you bought.
No, this is 2.0.
Okay.
And he's like, hey, what kind of jeans do you wear? It's like, well, I have these Tommies they fit nice. He's like, no. You need to wear 7s.
7 jeans.
You need to wear 7s, bro. Okay. You need to wear 7s, right? Because you can show up with 7s at the Dominion. You can show up with 7s in the South Side. That's right. Fine. Okay. But nobody likes your jeans.
And I'm not even going to say back then, even now, it's the little things like that that separate the ones that are going to get the business or not. As silly as that sounds.
We've had a client that told us before, like, I think you asked them, like, what was the difference between me and the other realtor? And their answer was, your car.
The 4Runner.
I believe it. I believe that. And it's just mental roadblocks that people put up themselves just from watching shows, seeing it before, that kind of stuff. It associates you with success and being able to go, okay, that's our guy. We can trust in him because it either is a facade or that's the real life. But either way, he's faking it the right way.
It was thanks to him that I started dressing like a bum.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because for him it was always boots, jeans, and a nice button down.
Yeah.
And he was realtor number 2 in the city at the moment. And he'd never wear a suit. He'd never wear a jacket. I'm like, wow, I want to be like that one of these. I want to be like Chad when I grow up. Really want to be like Chad when I grow up. And I think it was, 3 years ago that we were at the Business Journal Awards. I think it was like 3 years. And I'm sitting here and he's sitting on the table next to us. And, we have a great relationship. We talk maybe 2-3 times a year. And it's always like, how can we improve our business? Collaboration, competition, the whole thing. And it was when I got the nod. I finally got the nod from Obi-Wan. Because they're naming, how it goes on those awards. They start naming the people the closer they get to number 1, and they haven't called your name. They're like, wow. So they call his name, and he gets the award, and fist bump. And now in the top 10, and they still haven't called my name. And he looks to me and he's like, really? And he just says like, I'm like, and then now in the top 5, he's like, serious? And who was that?
That was me.
Okay. And I think that year I was number 5. Yeah, I think that year I was number 5. And they called my name, and he looks at me and he's like, I was like, yes.
Wow.
Yes. Finally.
Yeah.
I got the nod from Obi-Wan.
Yes. The confirmation that I'm cool now too.
Yes. It was one of those moments where I was like, I made it. I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm solid. When your mentor is like, good job, buddy.
Absolutely.
Good job.
No, absolutely. And it means a lot. I could totally see that feeling, that moment that you yourself, because we're always the hardest or toughest critic on ourselves. I don't know if that's true with you, but definitely true with me. It's that confirmation. Finally, this is what I've been working towards. Yeah. You could have been making plenty of money, but until you got that person's approval or...
It was a huge deal for me.
Oh, I'm sure. It was
a huge deal for me.
And isn't Chad also the one that encourages you to open up his brokerage?
So let's now fast forward to that. JC, how are we doing on time?
41 minutes in.
Okay. We got about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And I want you guys to take me through the journey of what made you realize or decide to open the brokerage. And at that time, was it just you? Were you helping out with that stuff? How did that, what inspired that?
So again, back to Chad.
Yeah.
Where I'm walking and he's like, hey, come here. It's like, what are you doing here? It's like, what do you mean? It's like, what are you doing here? You're not taking relo, at the time, relocation business, of course. And I said, yeah, I don't like working relo. He's like, well, why are you here? This is too expensive for you. I know what your split is. I know how much you're paying per deal. This is way too expensive. Just leave. Go, at least go to Keller Williams. I mean, there's a cap over there.
Right.
I said, okay. And I had my broker's license already. I always wanted to get my broker's license. Can't remember how old I was when I got licensed, but I got my broker's license. And I went to Tom, who was my broker of record. And I said, Tom, I'm leaving. And he's like, why are you leaving? I said, because I want
what you have.
I'm not, I mean, they were a franchise.
Okay.
I said, I want my name. I want my name on the front door. And at that point, there was nothing. He encouraged me. Everybody there was super, super helpful. And I just went out by myself. I said, I didn't even have a name for the brokerage yet. It was 2013, July 2013. And didn't even it was just Cesar Mesco Broker. That was it. Those were my contracts, and got everything set up, was working with a designer. And at first it was CA and Associates.
Okay.
CA and Associates. And that was a bit of a mouthful. And the logo looked like a penguin sideways.
Okay.
So I started doing my thing. We hooked up with Zillow, in the early days back when
it was cheaper.
When it was cheaper.
And they allowed other people to participate.
Yeah. And, we did really well with Zillow. That's where I met great people like Levi,
Absolutely.
Micah. And we kept on working. And little by little, the brokerage kept on, growing and growing and growing. But in the back end, it was a freaking mess. In the back end, it was a freaking mess. It was just absolute destruction because
at that time you were a producer, not necessarily administration.
Well, and the first agent that we had, it was one of our really great friends. And it was more because I have all these leads coming in and I can't handle them all. I need help.
Right.
So he convinced her. She was our neighbor.
Yeah.
Next door
Big
neighbor.
shout out to Carmen.
There you go.
She was
Sister
like,
from another
okay,
mister.
I can help. So she came along. And that's how it kind of grew.
A lot of our agents are past clients.
Okay.
About 80% of our agents are past clients.
But still at the time. So he's working, producing, getting more agents so that they can produce.
Sure.
Back behind the scenes, still a mess.
Yeah. I mean, our dining room was full of like files and folders.
Right.
And, and when it was time to do accounting, holy shit.
So at the time, I wasn't doing much with him. I was still teaching.
Okay.
I would, during the summertime, like there was one summer I remember being like, you need to email your clients. And he's like, well, I don't know how to do that. Like a mass email.
Right.
And this was before CRMs and stuff. So I was like, give me the list. And I'm trying to make an Excel sheet of his clients and putting him into Google so he could at least have like groups to email.
Yeah.
So that's what I did during the summer. And then I kept tabs of another spreadsheet for like his expenses. So when we went to get our taxes done, he'd have something. So that was as far as I was doing.
Right.
And then it happened.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, then it happened.
Life got better.
No, not really. So
you wanna
tell me about it.
Our daughter was born premature.
Okay.
27 weeks.
She was born at 27
and
weeks.
So I was on bed rest since she was 20 weeks old. So we had kind of a rough start to that. So middle of the school year, I was out.
Yeah.
And then once she came home, I was like, I got to make sure that this kid is set. Like she's already delayed on a lot of things. We had a lot of therapies. I went to him. I was like, I can't go back to work.
Right.
I can't give this to my mom. I got to stay home and make sure this kid's good. So I did. And that's hard to do after you've been working for so long. Like, so I'm taking care of my kids and I kind of feel like, not like what's my purpose, but a busybody. Like I need to do something at home. And we already had help too with the kids. And so I was like, well, what am I going to do? And I'm looking at his desk and I'm like, well, maybe I need to organize this. So I kind of get it and I start doing some stuff. We just got QuickBooks and I was like, okay, let me learn how to do some of this. Things like him saying, oh, I want to have a party for our clients. I want to have a party. And I don't know how many times I heard it.
It just didn't
but
happen.
it never happened, right? Because he's out all the time. So finally I was like, I'm just going to we're going to do it. So he comes home, and I'm like, okay, I called this place and this place and this. And he's like, okay. And our first movie event happened. So I just slowly kind of
worked yourself into there.
Started getting things off of his plate.
Infiltrated your systems.
And organizing them and best I could. And trying to all at the same time, I didn't really fully understand the business.
Right.
So, at times he'd be like, you just need to do this. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But I guess I'll figure it out.
Right.
So that's kind of how it started. And then
there's been moments in my life where I've had a bucket of cold water poured on me.
Oh, I'm sure.
And that was, Adriana being born, that was intense. And I remember telling her, hey, first year is on me. I'm going to bust my ass and do what I can to make sure that you don't have to worry. Northside ISD was absolutely amazing in helping us, especially with all the insurance.
That's awesome.
Big shout out to the Billy Navin, her last principal. He was crucial in making sure that we were taken care of. And I get a phone call. I'm driving down 1604, just my merry self, yay, happy. And she calls me. She says, hey, do you have any closings coming up? I said, I don't know why. She's like, we're not making that much money. And bucket of cold water. She's like, you need to make more money because we're not making enough money. And I said, you're speechless as a husband.
Yeah, right.
You're speechless. You're like, oh, I thought I was crushing it, dude. I'm in the top 100 for NAREP and, and that didn't matter. She had fully, immersed herself into the business.
Right. She knows your business now from the back end of it, what you're spending and how much is going out each month.
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? What is this happening? How many more closings do you have? And then in a matter of 2 years, we became 400% more profitable just because she plugged in and decided to say, she said, I'm not going back to teaching.
Mm-hmm.
She just said, I'm done with teaching. She jumped in. And
part of it was I was like, okay, if I go back to teaching, who's going to do my job?
Right.
I'm going to have to hire somebody.
Right.
And I'm like,
Then
is that even worth it?
Correct.
So I was like, it's just better for me to be here.
Yeah.
And
it's almost one of those concepts of, if I find a way to make you more money and pay for myself, can I stay?
Yeah. So she took special coaching for QuickBooks. She developed their own systems, did everything because the back end was a mess.
Yeah.
So she basically cleaned up the whole back end. We were able to implement more systems. We were able to go to conferences. We were able to go and learn from other people, interact with other people. And then, we're doing great. And then boom, COVID hits.
Yeah.
I always thought I was the hero of the story from COVID. I was like, oh, I'm out, just, punching and selling houses. And I wasn't the hero of the story. She was the hero of the story because she kept the house
in order.
She was there with the kids, distance learning, all that jazz, making sure our daughter grew up. She went through all of that. I keep on telling her, there's at one point I'm going to, call my cousin that's a photographer and we're going to do a Wonder Woman shoot.
That's awesome.
That way our daughter can have you on her wall because she would go to the hospital. Our daughter was there for 3 months. Wow. We didn't take our baby home. When we went home, we didn't take our baby home. Okay. That was
rough.
Hard. Yeah. But she was there, 4 times a day, driving to the medical center and holding, feeding, changing, doing, just so we could get her out. She's stubborn.
Yeah.
Till this day, she is. They call her Miracle Baby because nothing developmental, not everything is where it needs to be. But golly, she is stubborn.
Yeah.
But we put a lot of work into that, though.
She did.
Yeah.
I hid behind work. She was the hero of this. It wasn't me. I hid behind work. I was like, I'm working really hard. Right. That's my job. I'm working really hard. She went through all those punches that were, those were hard punches to go and, we have a picture of Adri's hand, for her first picture, her hand is the size of my thumb.
Wow.
That's how little she was. Now you see her now.
And you would never know.
No, she does jujitsu. She's taller than probably half her class already. Wow. Long legs like her mom, and attitude, and she's nice, and she's stubborn, and she sings and draws and does all kinds of things. And that was, that's how this whole thing started, because it wasn't supposed to work out this way.
Right.
I never ever thought I was going to be
full-fledged in real estate working alongside.
Never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I was actually still contemplating, should I go to admin? That was a possibility still.
So she saves the day there, then saves the day during COVID, right? And the growth just continues.
Yeah.
The growth just continues. And now we're going into a different cycle. And she's taking on more responsibility. She's taking on more different things to grow the business. I'm just the guy that smiles for a living.
Yeah.
And goes and sells houses, but she takes over these monumental changes in our life. And people ask us all the time, how can y'all work together? Well, it's a lot of collaboration, but at the same time, it's a lot of arguments. There's a lot of arguments. There's a lot of things of dude, I can't read your mind.
Right.
I'm squirrel guy.
Right. Same here. And I will add the following. In my opinion, conflict is kind of what you're talking about. And conflict in my world is a great thing until it goes unresolved. So I would imagine that the conflict that you had was resolved. Therefore, it became a huge bonus to everything that you're doing. You guys grew. Every time there was another conflict, It was seeking resolution, not you're an idiot. I would guarantee that's not how it went. It's we've got a problem and this is the way I see it. This is the way I see it. Well, you have two different views. Let's put those together and then come up with our game plan. Yeah. And then it sounds like you guys are fantastic about execution.
We have our flaws, but
I think the biggest thing is I know what he's really good at.
Right.
And I also know what he's not so good at.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I can't expect him to do those things that I know he's not great at or he doesn't love. So I already know from my end, those things need to be picked up by somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll have to be me.
Right.
Because he's out there killing it on all the stuff that he's really good at.
Right.
So it's just kind of knowing your place.
And, we work together, but at the same time, that's not our first job.
Okay.
That's not our first job. Our first job is to be we both grew up with amazing parents. We both grew up with absolutely amazing, out of this world. We were parents rich.
Yeah.
A lot of people grow up rich. We grew up parents rich. Okay. My dad, may he rest in peace, he was out of this world. My mom is out of this world, 3-time cancer survivor.
Wow.
Her dad, a lot of sacrifices since they were very young. The odds of, a girl that was born in the Philippines at Clark Air Force Base and the guy that was born across the border. What are the odds of, us two coming together and our families being so similar?
Sure.
And Kay, I love Kay to death. She's my second mom. She's probably the reason why I married her.
And that's beautiful. The idea, just like you said, of two completely different cultures, yet equally the same. How strange but beautiful that is to display for everyone out there. The idea that just blows my mind. But at the same time, I totally get it.
She is very white.
My wife is pretty white too.
I was going to say, it's there are a lot of, there has been moments that I've been oh, this is a cultural clash between us that I didn't realize because the way our morals and our values are so aligned.
Right.
That you
it's
don't
the little
see
in-between
that,
things.
But then you come across something random and you're like, oh, well, we're clashing because it's a cultural thing. I'm not used to that. He's not used to the way I do it.
Have you learned the words pinche pendejo?
Oh, I know that, yeah.
Okay, there we go.
She walked by, she's like, you're so Mexican sometimes. I'm like, what? It's just, it's just the way we do things.
It's the bad words you learn first.
Absolutely. And then you learn how to use them properly.
If we speak slow enough in the household, which is hard because I'm from the north,
Right.
Northern Mexico, we speak very fast.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm going to go take a nap, guys. So when my brother,
Keep
my
on
sister, I was
rolling.
like, you'll do your
My
thing.
brain,
Can't
my
keep
brain
up,
hurts
sorry.
too much, and then I'm like, okay, I'm tuned out.
Every other word, it still doesn't make sense. I'm out. So let me ask you guys to wrap this. From your story, you guys started with very little, great parents, great background, with great parents comes great ethics, comes a good work ethic, call it your backbone, so to speak. You both had great backbones and then came together to do life that, in my opinion, is almost by design on how it's supposed to be. Because if you're talking to somebody and they say, oh, I've never had any fights with my wife, or I've never had any adversity, okay, you're full of shit. Sorry.
100%.
You're not being honest with me. And taking what you guys have learned, what is some good advice that you would give to, because I can guarantee there are plenty of husband and wives out there that are considering doing the same thing. They maybe haven't had enough production over here for this person to quit, to jump over, or many different scenarios. But I'm sure there are folks out there that are going, maybe we could do that. We've been talking about it. What does that look like? What's some advice that you would give to someone listening? No rush.
This is where I'm like, First of all, I mean, never, like you said, never leave something unresolved. Yeah. That you have to, you have to go through the gauntlet and just, sort it out somehow, some way. Because your coworker, she's actually my boss. Okay. I tell everybody the same thing. Right. She's actually my boss. If she tells me not to spend money on certain things, I won't spend money on certain things, period.
Yep.
And the work day ends and then you go back to husband and wife.
Yeah.
And you can't leave something unresolved. You can't be upset. You can't be mad and then expect to go to bed like nothing. Like you have to clear all that out. And there's been nights that we stay up late because I tell her like, no, we cannot go to sleep like this.
Right.
Got to sort this shit out. And,
he's really good at that.
We can't just, and in my family, like we talk a lot.
Right.
And we're like, hey, get that shit out. Like,
That's
just
right.
air it out. Let's figure out a solution. Then we can go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. So never leave anything unresolved would be one piece of advice that I would give. Probably the most crucial one is never leave anything unresolved, for sure.
Yeah. And I would say that that's great advice. Same concept with my wife and I. She's on the real estate side, insurance side. I'm on the lending side, but every day there's something that we come across. There's a buyer that we're working with together that it's just, my God, we've got to drag them across the finish line. And I'll get frustrated and she'll go, all right, bring it down. Keep in mind, this is what we do, And it's that little constant reminder of sanity that injects itself into me. And I go, okay, all right. Hello there, better, just one of those things.
Yeah. Just, you got to suck it up.
Yep.
So I guess I would say, and this is kind of a more general in any part of the business you could put it in. And I really didn't learn this until just a couple of years ago when we did a book study and I read something. But don't wait for it to be perfect. Just jump in and start.
Love that. Yeah.
But when I read that, there were some things that I was trying to do and I was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. Especially when you're working in a business and you feel kind of alone.
Sure.
You're like, I can't do this. I can't figure it out. Or no, I don't want to send this email because it's not right yet.
Right.
Just send it.
Yeah.
And once I read that, I started kind of looking around me at other people in the industry, emails I was getting, marketing they were doing. And I was like, theirs is not perfect.
Right.
Like I'm looking at this, like this is from Canva.
Yep.
They made a mistake here. So why am I waiting?
You're right.
And then I looked back at telling the story today, all the times that we didn't think about it and hesitate and just jumped in, so I would say just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be all set in stone. You don't have to have a massive plan.
Right.
Just jump in and start figuring stuff out. As long as you have that mentality of, we can figure this out.
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine, and you can keep growing and moving from there. None of the stuff in our story that I could ever imagine when I moved to Dallas, like this is where we were going to be today, not even on my radar. I was going to go to pharmacy school.
Yeah.
Like, and it just, things didn't happen. So that would be my advice, is just stop waiting and jump in and do it.
Life by design. And I have to agree with that as well. There's so many folks out there that wait for perfect, even when it comes to little things like, I'm going to do video. And then they wait, they record it, and then, oh, that didn't look good, or I'll do it later. I'll redo it later. Get the stuff out there. Number one, you're going to learn good, bad, indifferent from that action that you're doing. And I think the moral or present, the ideal is take action. Just take action and learn from what you're actually doing. That way you can use it for the next time or not.
And just like you said earlier, you're probably your most critical
Absolutely.
to yourself than anything. So regardless of what it is you're doing, nobody's going to be out there judging you. You know, and I tell our kids, nobody's thinking about you.
Right.
Really. They're
It's so
thinking about
true.
themselves.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about you.
Yeah.
So just wear what you want to wear. Show up how you want to show up, because
exactly
no
right.
one's going to be looking at you. They're thinking about themselves.
Boom. That's going to be a clip right there.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Preach.
I have to agree.
It's the truth. So,
Well, guys, this has been great. I just learned a ton about you both, and I'm very impressed. I am honored to have shared that conversation with you, and I'm glad that I'd like to get to know you guys even better outside of this world. This world, not this world. That's a little too far.
Easy there, Elon.
Right? Exactly.
Our kids go to the same school.
That's
so
right.
There you go.
That's right. So is there anything else you guys would like to add to this? I would actually like to have you both back to have a conversation about some topics. You guys get to pick the topic, controversial, not. Now that our listeners have heard your story, know who you are,
to.
I know that they're going to want you back.
We'd love
that would be awesome. Definitely.
Yeah, no, we'd love to. I would say, because now we've met so many people, and, big shout out to Rob. He's in Japan right now. He's vacationing with the family. But he's the one that pulled me out of my cave and introduced me to all these wonderful people, because I was just in my own little, I was a lone wolf.
Yeah.
I was proud of that. I was like, I'm the lone wolf. Like, no, actually, you need to go out and meet new people so you can grow.
Yeah.
Be in bigger rooms with smarter people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what I would encourage people to do, to just get out there and meet people, grow with people. And now that we've learned that, we've both grown so much in the past couple of years, learning from Jeff and Clarissa.
Yeah.
We went out to dinner a couple months ago and just learning about their story. Gillian, Denise, Adolfo, and Lisa. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on about, their journeys and how they do things, and just get out and really, just make yourself vulnerable.
Right.
And say, I don't have this right. I don't have this right. I'm not doing it right. Is anybody else doing it right?
Right.
Is somebody doing it better than me? You'd be surprised how many people will say, I'll help you.
Absolutely.
You're doing that. You're doing that wrong. So you should probably try this other way, because we're the same way.
Yeah.
We're the same way. We have our Christmas party this coming Sunday, which, by the way, both of y'all are invited.
Woohoo.
It's open bar.
All right.
At the Rock. Our Christmas party, thanks to her, has grown from 175 people to 450 people.
Wow.
There's not a realtor in town that can touch my Christmas party.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna
throwing
be a
down the
blast.
gauntlet, just like drop,
Boom. Mic drop.
Yeah, what's up? 450 people, free pictures with Santa. It's at the Rock this Sunday. We have our registration link on our Instagram.
It's a toy drive for CASA.
Awesome.
It's a toy drive.
We usually are one of their biggest donors for
Okay.
this time of season. So
entry into this requires absolutely.
Yes.
gift
do
cards,
not show up.
toys,
Do
all
not show up
ages.
empty-handed.
That's
I will
awesome.
punch you.
Yeah.
I will punch you if you show up empty-handed. I don't care who you are.
No.
So it's a toy drive for Child Advocate San Antonio. That's, charity that we have very close, to our heart.
Yeah.
And, thanks to her, we've been able to grow it to 450 people in attendance over 3 hours at the Rock.
Yeah, that's massive.
We went from, a small little venue to, where the Spurs practice.
That's right.
Which is pretty awesome. Rain or shine, there's games gonna be on the big screen. There's homemade cookies, hot chocolate, open bar, crafts for the kids, pictures with Santa Claus. She had these basketballs designed. If you go to my Instagram, you can see the basketball that she designed with our logo.
How cool.
So she orders like 12, 15, and by the end of the party, they're all gone.
That's cool.
By the end of the party, they're all gone. Clients will be like, "Can I take this?" Like,
go for it.
I don't care, man. Take it. Go.
It's already paid for.
Yeah, just go. It's all good.
And it's depreciating anyway.
Yeah, it's losing value as we speak. It's fine. Let me autograph it for you.
Right.
But yeah, it's invited. Be happy to have you guys, and thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Erin, hats off. That was your first podcast, and nobody even knew until I said that right now. Not
next
bad,
time I'll do better.
Professional, incredible Wonder Woman here. Ladies and gentlemen, listening in, as always, I appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. We're up to 31,600 subscribers, and that's just on YouTube alone. We are on other platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and all the others. But I hope that you guys are getting at least a fifth of what I get from these conversations, and they are with folks that are in the trenches doing the work, putting in the work, taking the risks, and then learning from those mistakes, right or wrong, and grateful enough to share them with you guys. So that being said, guys, thank you again for joining me for this conversation. You guys out there, as always, I promise to continue to bring you experts like this that are willing to share their journey with us transparently and real AF. That means and finance, remember that. Other than that, we will catch you on the next one. If you're still sending out pre-approval letters and praying your realtor send you the next lead, you're already behind.
Top producers are winning because they're giving their agents more than just rate sheets and donuts. They're giving them LoanBot. With LoanBot, you can offer realtors a white-labeled, co-branded digital mortgage tool that they send straight to their buyers. It's like giving them a mini loan officer in their pocket. Available 24/7, fully loaded, and branded with your name and their trust. Buyers can self-diagnose, compare loan programs, check real numbers, search properties, and explore down payment assistance without blowing you up at 10 p.m. And the best part? You see everything, every scenario, every lead, every milestone. You're looped in the whole way. LoanBot isn't a widget. It's the referral machine you've been waiting for. Here's the deal. Your realtors can get it from us directly for $9.99 a month. But it'd be in your best interest if they got it from you. Either way, they're going to get it. White-labeled, co-branded, transparent, and more.
Sign up for your demo with our team of innovators.